Morning, everybody. It's a great day here at Techy. Got a thin crowd, so I'm gonna wait a minute or two, see if we have some more people down in the audience there. What's going on, everybody? Get started in a couple of minutes.
All right, people starting to pile in. I guess that what happened was I sent the link, and then I guess I opened the room by mistake, and it just deleted the room.
Yeah, I
So
saw that. When I clicked it, it said, "This room has ended. If you want to open your own room, some."
yeah, I just resent the link to, and I was going link crazy this morning too. So
All right, everybody. It's a beautiful day here at Techy. I'm currently in Sarasota, helping open up one of our Techy locations, reopening. Doing good so far with that. So uh, we want to hear from you guys today. Today is Experience Day. We want to hear about the good, the bad, the ugly, and maybe we could uh, pat you on the back for some of those good experiences, help you through some of those bad experiences, and talk about some of those ugly experiences. If anybody wants to come up to the top, we also do some role play on Fridays. So if you'd like to raise your hand, please come on up, and we'd love to talk to you. Does anybody who's already up here have anything they want to discuss? Any experiences they might have gone through that they feel they need to talk through?
it's funny. I was listening to a couple calls this morning, and just it's like, how do we get? We talk about the tier system all the time, and and everybody's always like, this is not just for phone repairs. This tier system. This is on answering a phone call. I don't care if you're selling jewelry. You know what I mean? Like, this is retail driven. Tier processes will work in any retail uh, service opportunity. This could work at a tire shop. This could work at a any kind of service opportunity. So as I listen to more and more calls, I know a lot of times I listen to calls that do repairs, but I want to reiterate, this works in any kind of service industry. This tier process, and I highly suggest, guys, that you you work harder on trying to follow these processes. I have a recording here that I'm gonna share with you guys, and just let you listen in, and just give you love to have some feedback from what you guys do as well. But you'll see a lot of they're making these mistakes of going down rabbit holes, and we all know you only have a couple seconds to lock in a deal. You know what I mean? And so that first greet is important. That's why we always answer the phone. It's a great day at Techie. It's a great day at Experamax. What information can I get for you today? What can I get started for you today? That first stage is awesome, and everyone seems to be doing very well at that across the board. But we fall off um, on the next step, because the first thing out of customers' mouth, I would say the majority of the time, is what's the price? And we all get stuck on wanting to solve that problem for them, because that's human nature. We want to solve problems as fast as we possibly can. But over the phone, we can't fix these problems over the phone. So we have to focus on driving the opportunity into the store. And so I just want to share a recording with you guys. And again, guys, this is in any kind of business. It doesn't matter if you're going out trying to get a B2B opportunity. It doesn't matter if you're trying to sell a device, fix a phone. Like, you need to drive opportunity through your door, right? Or you need to show up. And so you need to try to simplify it, and keep it simple, because you start getting too detailed, people's attention spans are not there anymore, guys. And you have less than 3 seconds to convert an opportunity. So this could be, I'm going to share this recording here in a second, but this could be, say if you're going out to try to get a B2B account, right? You send a long email. The chances of the reply back are going to be slim. Keep it short. Get to the point. Let's build that relationship, the common ground. Get right to the point. Stop with these long emails. Stop with this long-winded answers. You know what I mean? You want to get in front of them first, and then once you get in front of them, now it's your responsibility to build that relationship and build common ground. So let me share this recording, guys, with you. And guys, remember, we have this tier process. It's on Techy University. You can go and listen to it. I highly suggest that you listen to your calls at your stores. When I get stores saying, "Hey, I'm not doing well in sales," or whatever it may be, I jump right to the call system, because that's something that we can control immediately. Is the calls. We can't control our marketing overnight. We can't control what our you know, we can't control our rent. We can't control our payroll. We can't control some of these things sometimes overnight, but we can control these phone calls and the conversion rates by just picking up the phone and making this happen and role playing. So this is why we do this every Friday. So if you're struggling at your store, you need to be listening to these calls and you need to perfect that tier system. So I'm going to show you this call right here and give you an exact example why the tier system should be followed, because you're going to see what's happening. Let me know if you can hear this. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear it. But here we go.
After that, what was it?
It's a great day at Techy. This is Brandon. How may I help you?
Hi, Brendan. I think you just called me about the switch.
All right, so I just picked the wrong one there. Sorry about that. Let me just get back to this other one here. Where are we there? There we go. Sorry.
It's a great day at Techy. This is Brandon. How may I help you?
Yeah, how much do you charge to replace the home button that no longer pushes on an iPad? It's probably about 2 years old.
Which iPad is it? Do you know?
So we talk about this all the time, guys. We and I say this quite often. 50 to 70% of customers do not know what kind of iPads they have, what kind of phones they have. And look, they went straight to the price, just like we talked about. Look at the next reply. He says, "What kind of iPad do you have?"
I mean, how do I tell the difference? Let me know.
Here we go, rabbit hole.
So do you have the iPad in front of you?
No, I do not. It's actually my daughter's school tablet.
I got you. Okay. Without actually knowing the exact model of the...
I repaired the screen like 3 months ago. So we probably still have it on file somewhere.
Oh, with us?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
So now he's looking for the customer.
My wife brought it in, so it's probably Alyssa, Alissa, and then Willis, Willis.
All right.
What I always tell people during training is customer calls and says, "Hey, do you fix this iPad?" Absolutely, we do. Do we fix iPads? Yes. Do we have parts for iPads? Yes. We don't need to know what model iPad it is.
Exactly. Are you still able to hear it?
Yeah.
Trying to look that up for you real quick.
Yes, I was making sure I called the right place.
This call's already 1 minute and 20 seconds in. And we're searching for this. This customer asked, do we fix
Can you spell
iPads?
her first name for me again?
So now we're asking.
Alissa.
So the whole point, guys, and it keeps going on. This call, this is a 3.5 minute call. In the middle of this call, he gets another phone call. He can't answer. Okay. He also gets a customer that walks in front of him and says, "Hey, give me a second? Let me finish with this guy." The whole point of this conversation, and I didn't want to keep extending it, is what are we doing here? Like, drive the customer into the store. Like, you just had another phone call while you're on this call. And so when you don't answer the phone, the conversion rate drops significantly, because the chances that they're going to answer you back are going to be hard, right? Because you're going to have to follow up. So now you're going to have to follow up. And then the customer in front of you, you told them to wait a second. So now the customer might, who knows, might walk out. I have no idea. But the whole point of this, guys, is we have to drive the opportunity into the store and try not to go down these rabbit holes, because look what happened just in this one phone call. Another phone rang, and a customer walked in. Now you got 3 opportunities right in front of you, but because we're going down rabbit holes, and remember, we can't fix this over the phone, we're causing more delay, which I'm sure he was doing repairs too as well in the back, which is causing more delay as well. So it just piles up if you don't follow the tier system. because again, we cannot fix this over the phone. So,
Yeah, Tim. The whole question of what model is it? uh, why I do training, and I show a lot of phone calls to new franchisees, new team members, and the question of what model is it always comes up in phone calls, and I feel as though it's completely unnecessary because customer comes in and says, "Hey, do you guys fix iPhone screens?" Or calls in and says that, and your response should just be absolutely. Do you want to come in today? It shouldn't be what model because the question I always ask, and it's a obvious answer question, is do we fix iPhones? The answer is yes. Okay, then do we have parts for iPhones? Yes. Okay, then the customer should just come on in and figure out exactly what's needed. So ask yourself those stupid questions sometimes. Do we fix iPhones? Yes. Do we have parts for iPhones? Yes. Do we fix iPads? Yes. Right? And asking yourself those sort of common sense questions will allow you to avoid asking stupid questions, I guess. But eventually, through the tier system, they would have also arrived at the fact that the customer had been to the store before. So tier one is a greeting, an open ended question, location. And when he asked the customer for the location, if he was trying to work that tier system, the customer would have said, "Yeah, I've already been to your store." And in response, the team member could have said, "Well, we do good work here. Just come on in. We'll take care of you." They've obviously had a service done before, so they liked what they heard the first time they were there. So just drive them into the store is the idea of the entire tier system. That's the whole idea of the entire tier system is drive them into the store. And if you get down into tier three, if the customer pulls you in that direction, which is objections, it's the customer's job to push back on you. You are doing yourself a disservice by essentially pushing back on yourself by asking those rabbit hole questions. You're putting obstacles in front of yourself that you then have to hurdle over, and you're putting yourself further and further away from that customer walking into your store. The customer is made to put obstacles in front of you. You're made to hurdle those obstacles. Don't do that to yourself.
damn, Michael, you just put some fire right there, bro. That dumbed it down for me. I don't know if it dumbed it down for everybody else, but man, that made perfect sense what you said right there. Like that's exactly the process. Like don't put the hurdles in front of you. Like drive the opportunity to the. I love that, Michael. Great analogy there for sure. So, but yeah, guys, this is so important. This is happening at every store, and if you have to practice this, grab your camera, get your selfie going, right, and role play it real fast with yourself. If you don't want to come up to the top and role play, I get it. No big. Well, I don't get it because I do this every single day, but I understand it takes some time for you to jump over some hurdles to get to put yourself in that uncomfortable situation. But this is where your money's at. I mean, just in that one call, there were so many opportunities. He said the iPad repair is for his kid's school. Ding, 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 ding. Bob, what does that say now?
That means there's more people using iPads at schools that I might be able to get into. So,
That's a B2B opportunity right there. That's a
yep,
money maker. That's a common ground builder. When that customer walks through the door, I'm going to say, hey, what school does your daughter go to?
yep.
Wow,
You
great.
you bridge the gap, right? And then you say, hey, do you happen to know the IT person at the school that you got your iPad from, or something like that,
And
right?
who knows what that can turn into? Most schools have 800 kids. I mean, if these kids have iPads, I mean, that's 800 iPads. That's I just see money. You ever see that GIF where they have the guy's got all this cash around his head and he's just walking around talking like he's on the phone? That's what I see.
At a minimum,
And
at a
so
minimum, you can fix his iPad and have him say, hey, send a message out to your school list that you're part of, and let them know I can do this for you, right? Kind of
exactly.
like,
So
I mean,
there's a lot.
There's so many angles you can do here, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So who wants to come up? Who wants to come up and role play an experience? Michael came up. What's that? Michael? You want to practice a situation scenario, maybe?
If I may, before we do that, G
Yeah.
typed in the chat. What if the customer drives for 30 minutes and reaches your store and the part is not available? We have this conversation a lot in training, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, in some cases, you just have to let them, for lack of a better phrase, f around and find out. You just have to let them pull up to your store and find that out. And most people are not going to be upset, and you will get that one bad egg that is upset at you for that. But in a lot of cases, you should have already fostered same day delivery services in your area with vendors. And most people don't really know the time frame that it's going to take to repair their device. I get people come in and I say, "Yeah, give me 45 minutes." They're like, "Oh, I thought this was going to take 2 days." Right? So most the layman, the person walking around not working in the industry, is not gonna really understand that typically we have most parts in stock, and if we don't, we can probably get them same day, next day. And people are just going to be happy with the fact that their devices are going to be repaired. And you have to trust that little piece of advice, I guess, that not you know 9.9 out of 10 people aren't going to come into your store and complain that they maybe have to wait a day for a part.
But that's a hurdle that we just talked about. But at least that customer's in your store right now, right? So now that's an objection. Figure out how to handle that objection. What are some of the ways to handle that objection? You know what I mean? Like, what are some of the things that you can do? Well, is his image good? If his image good, hey, I'll order that part. I'll have it tomorrow for you, um, and we'll situate it for you now. What's another thing? Is it a rare phone? Do you know that everybody in your area cannot get that part too as well? You're going to solve that customer's problem. You're going to help that customer and give them the best support you possibly can, and say, hey, you called the right place. Even if I don't have the part in stock, I'm going to lead you into the right direction. Like I'm gonna assist you. So it's another hurdle. But how often is that really happening? Out of 100 calls, you know what I mean? Like you drive that customer in, and you get 30 customers in, and two of them say something about, hey, you don't have the part in stock, and now you got to work with your hurdles, and you got to role play that, whatever. But the other 18 customers didn't say, or whatever it was, didn't say anything about it. Like you have to understand that these you're not going to be able to satisfy every opportunity. Uh, but it's your responsibility to drive them through the door and know that you're going to give them the best suggestion and believe that they came to the right place. So um, I don't know if that kind of summarizes it a little
Yeah,
bit.
makes total sense, Tim. Mike from West End, what's up? You came up. We were joking because I'm currently working with a Mike here in Sarasota, and his dad is in the store as well, helping us with some plumbing stuff. And his name is Mike. And in our last training, we had 2 or 3 Mikes. We got them everywhere. We have 3 Michaels in the room right now. We got a Miguel, which is just Mike in Spanish. What's going on, Mike?
I got my other employee's name is Mike, so that's an
That's
interesting
confusing.
conversation with customer. Trust me, because they'll come in and be like, "Hey, can I talk to Mike?" Well, I am Mike. He's like, "What? The the big Mike?" He's like, "I am Big Mike."
That's
Can't
good.
you see? So, Jeeth kind of got it for me. I mean, I do have relationships, with global liquidators down the street, which used to be Go Crazy, and I have relationships with CPPE and all of that to get the part in stock. But how would you deal on that scenario that Mobile Centrics doesn't have it, Phone LCD Parts doesn't have it, and your local vendors don't have it, and you got a customer that needs their phone within 2 days to get that repaired because they're going out of town per se.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to take that, Michael. You want me to?
I think I got it. So as you know, I worked in these stores for some time. Um, you just have to get down to the level and be honest with them. And like Tim said, you're not going to win over every single opportunity. If somebody is in a time crunch and there's literally nothing we can do, you just have to be honest with them about that. Unfortunately, the time frame in which you're looking to get this repaired, I'm not going to be able to get the parts in today. I appreciate you for coming out here, but what I can do for you is I can give you, tell me where you're going, and I can look up a few locations in the area and see if I can find you a techie in your area. They drove over to you. You tried to do your best to help them. And I say this about different situations as well. If a customer comes in and they bring you a blender, right? You may not have the chops or the know-how to fix a blender, but what you do know is people in the industry. right? So you can give the best recommendation possible to this customer, and that is valuable. That sometimes is worth a 20-minute drive, right? So you do what you can to help steer the customer in the right direction if you can't help them at your store. So, just give
Or
them a
just
good.
trade in and trade up, right? Like buy the phone back from them and upgrade them. I mean, you can do that too as well.
Different
So yeah,
opportunities.
I agree. I agree with Michael. Like, it's okay. You're not going to win over everybody, but we offer so many different services. Like, um, you got to be creative sometimes. That is really what it comes down to. I mean, I've done some crazy stuff just to satisfy my customer because I'm like, look, you came to the right place. If you can't get the part, Michael, for sure, you break cross street doesn't have that thing. I'm not saying you can't call them and ask them because maybe they do. But pretty certain that nobody else is going to be able to handle this guy within 2 days. So there's some creative things you can do. I mean, I've done this before. I bought a phone offer up, took that part and put it on another customer's phone. I mean, I'm not saying you need to do that kind of stuff, but there are creative things that you can do with the customer. And so I think that's the biggest thing we're here is like, you got to understand when these customers walk through the door, we're techie. Like, you came to the right place. We're gonna lead you into the right direction. Either if it's, hey, where are you traveling to in 2 days? Okay, well, I'm gonna call that store and have them have that part in stock for you through Techie, or help them through the process. But there's a lot of creative ways you could do. But I think the number one thing that you did very successfully was drove them into the store, because your conversion rate goes up 50% just by driving them into the store. Your conversion rate inside a store, of all the stores, is about 70% once they step foot. Your conversion rate on the phone call is 20%. So think about that 50% increase and what that can do for your business. So I mean, right now the average store is converting 20% of their calls. They get 100 calls. Average store gets about 300 calls a month, right? So if you start doing the math on that, 20% of that, I mean, do the math. That's 60 calls that you're dropping in to your store. The average ticket item, right? And I know I'm getting a little. The average ticket item is 150. Let's call it 150, right? And so are you doing $15,000-$20,000 a month? Well, then you need to work better on your conversion rates, because that's going to give you more opportunity. Are you doing? I mean, some stores. I mean, I think Weston gets 750 calls a month, if I'm not mistaken. The last time I checked, I mean, that's a lot of freaking phone calls. You know what I mean? So
Yep, somewhere around there.
it's nuts, man. Like, so if you're converting 20% of that, let's just do some quick math on that, right? Um, let's call it 100, and now you're converting 100, and let's call it 60 calls, right? Time the average ticket item of 150, you're doing $24,000 a month. I don't know. What'd you guys do last month? Maybe you did a little bit more than that. I don't know. Maybe your conversion rate is higher.
I think we ended up at 30, 32.
32. So then I can guarantee you're looking at your conversion rate, and your conversion rate is higher than 20%, which is fantastic. But this is what you can work on, guys, to get your sales up more, right? So you want to be to 30, like Michael, you want to get to 50, work on that conversion rate. So right now, if you had 750 calls, let's just call it, you did 32. Okay, let's 750 calls. Uh, let's call it 200. So you converted 220 calls out of that 750, right? Like, how can we get higher than that? You know what I mean? And that's really what the study needs to be. And that's why we have this PBX system, because that's going to really help you drive more opportunity to your store. So you guys got to do the math on this stuff. This is why on Thursdays on our daily task, we have conversion rate. When was the last time you sat down on your daily task on Thursday and looked at your conversion rate for the week? Or are you just pencil whipping it? Or are you really studying it? When was the last time you submitted 5 calls and really sat down with your team and did some role playing? Like, this is the stuff that's going to, I mean, look, we got stores that do 80, 90, $100,000 a month, and they talk about it's their conversion rate. That's what's getting these stores to where they're at. So we have to improve on this in order. We could do all the marketing in the world, But if you are answering the phone like you're in a dungeon, your conversion rate is probably 5%. You know, so just think about that, guys, and the importance of it. So I know I went a little long winded on it, but it's yes, loaner front device for sure. It's important to work on this, guys. And I know we've talked about it for a long time, and for the most part, every one of you guys that are up here are super engaged. But I know if I jump on, and it's a hard subject tonight. I know if I jump on any one of these call recordings and you're inside your stores, we're gonna have some improvements, and that's okay. But are you trying to improve every day on these phone calls? Michael, what's up?
I was just gonna say, yeah, you went a little long winded there, out of breath, but it's a passionate topic for you, so I
Well,
understand
because
that
it,
one.
it pays all our bills
Now,
at the end of the day, right? So it's like
uh,
that's we can control that.
yep, 100%.
We can control that.
You know, I go knocking on German's door. Hey, I need a raise. First thing he's gonna do, hey, I need more money.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So yeah,
at the end of the day, it works out. Question for you. So we have a customer right now, for example, came in on Friday of last week, dropped off iMac 2003 tower, a desktop tower for Apple, the big old G2s, I think it was, or something like that they were called. I never used one, but I figured it out. Um, Ended up being just for a data recovery. Quoted him 3 to 5 days. Then he starts calling on second day. Then he starts calling on third day. Then he starts calling on fourth day, 3, 4, 5 times in a week, rushing the job. How would you handle the not getting frustrated with it? You know, because you'll answer the phone and you'll let them know, this is a delicate process, blah 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 blah, the whole spiel. But then he just comes at you with, oh, but Best Buy told me this. Oh, but this person told me that. Oh, but this told me that. And it kind of gets frustrating at that point when you're talking to the same customer 3 times a day about the same repair that you just talked to him an hour ago. How would you kind of handle that situation and kind of like get them to chill out a little bit, I guess?
yeah. No, yeah. It's and I think the biggest thing is just like you could do two things. You could pass the call to somebody else in the store and just say, "Hey, can you just give this guy a ring and just let him know that we're working on it." You know what I mean? But I think what I always say is like, "Look, I'm gonna call you once it's done. Like I'm working on it. My name is stamped on this," and just reiterate that the confidence to the customer. Like you came to the right place. I understand you're talking about Best Buy. I understand, but I promise you, you're in great hands. You came to the right place. I'm treating this as if it was my actual device, and I am going to contact you as soon as it's done. So these things do take time sometimes, but I want you to understand that it is in the best hands possible right now, and I'm gonna address it for you and get it done for you as fast as possible. And I think if you just show them how confident you are on the phone call, like you came to the right place and I am the right guy for this job. And like, I think that's going to kind of, and I'm not saying you didn't do that. I don't know if you did that or not, but I think that's going to really get the customer he's nervous. He's never done this before, maybe. He's got a lot of valid information on there. He wants to make sure that he came to the right place. And I think that's where, um, it gets lost sometimes, and without getting frustrated you just have to understand their side of it, and you can even ask them, hey, look, I see you keep calling. What can I do for you to maybe give you a little bit more peace? uh, you know what I mean, and just having that conversation is important. So I don't know if that helps, Michael.
Okay,
Yes.
Ken. Thank you. An hour later, I call back again.
Yeah, yeah, and look, and that's okay. That's okay because he still doesn't have peace. That's probably what it is. And just be like, and you can tell the customer, hey, look, you're welcome to call back, but I'm telling you right now, this is going to take another 2 days. If you call back in that 2 day period, it's going to be the same answer. I promise you, it's in good hands. I will call you and reiterate that. You know what I mean? And if he continues to call, I don't know, maybe it's something further. But that's the way I would handle the situation.
All
Yeah,
right, thank you, Tim.
yeah, Tim. You know what's funny is Best Buy. I have a box of my 10% cards. That box they have 500 of my cards. I go over there like once a quarter and refresh my cards with them.
Love that.
Um, I can't. I get 2 referrals a day from Best Buy. Easy, easy. And most of the time it's around data because they don't know how to do data. Um,
Yeah, they send it out.
well, and so they send it to me. I'm locally known as the data whisperer now, and so they bring their drives to me. I can't tell you, I'm working on 3 drives right now, um, and they bring it to me and bring me your tired, your weak, your data, right? So that's kind of my thing. And so, you know, if you lay down the confidence, and I keep telling my guys, I said, you guys need to sound confident. You know, you might not know it, but if you sound confident on the phone, man, people won't question you, man. They'll be like, yeah, I got it. And so for me, I've been doing this so long. That when they come in, I said, "Yeah, I got you. We'll take care of you." I said, "Give me 5 minutes." And so normally I could figure out in 5 minutes what's going on with the drive. I'd be like, "All right, here's what's going on." I was like, I can do this and this. It's going to take me several days, but I got you. Right? We can do this. Um, but and and I'm more proactive with them. Sometimes you got to over communicate. You can tell some of those customers that are really antsy, like Michael, what you're kind of talking about, and sometimes you just got to over. And if you do that, they appreciate that. So sometimes I'll know those customers. But I got this one lady right now. Like I got bags of ice around her hard drive, and I'm recovering her data. And every day I'm calling her end of the day. Hey, here's where we're at. I've got this, and tomorrow this is what the plan is. I'm getting this for you, and I should have this done by the end of the week, right? And I'm kind of setting the timeline. I'm setting that expectation, but I'm setting it really low because if I don't get it to the end of the week, then she's going to be like, "What you told me end of the week?" So
Yeah, Michael, what I would do you still have the device there?
Oh, yep.
As soon as you open, call them. Just like you said, over communicate with them. Like just call them, be like, "Hey, look, I know it's another day today. I'm on it. Just wanted to give you a ring. I know and I think maybe that will help him not call every 2 hours. You know what I mean? Now that you're being proactive with it,
yeah,
try it
yeah,
out.
just tell them, say, "Hey, look, you're on my mind. I wanted you to be the first person to reach out to as soon as I walk in the store to let you know I'm on top of it, and I'll give you. We're working on it today. I don't anticipate having any updates for you until tomorrow or something like
And
that,
then
right?
check this out, Michael. If you call him and then he calls you 3 hours later, call me and I'll call him for you and I'll chat with him and see what we can do.
Perfect.
So, because I get it, man. You're busy, man. You're running the store. You know what I mean? Like you got other customers, and I get the frustration.
I
So,
was like, man, I'm there 10 to 5 every single day except Sunday, and
yeah,
my other tech comes 5 to 8. The third one comes Monday, Tuesday, 4 to 8. So most of the time I'm there by myself, and it's like this guy keeps calling every hour on the hour, and I'm just
push
like,
push it
I'm
off on
going
us, man.
crazy.
Like,
I'm going crazy.
yeah, push it off on us, man. Like Michael and all of us here would help you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, can you just call this guy real fast and like see what you can do to help me? Like, I would even call the guy and tell him, hey, if you have any other questions, just call me. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It's just, we're here to help. You know what I mean? Leverage the opportunity. We get it, man. We want you to make more sales because it's going to pay all of our bills. And sometimes if a customer's bogging you down, um, it gets frustrating sometimes. So
Yeah, Mike, and I think the main thing you should take away from it is proactivity. You start calling that guy that much and see how much he hates you for it.
Oh, and trust, I do that, man. I love over communicating. I'll put a note, man, and I'll put an alarm on my phone, like 4 hours. Call customer. I'll do it, and then guess what? They'll stop calling you, man.
or yeah, or shoot them a text message too if you don't have the time to call. You know what I mean? You
We
can always
talking about the old days, eye for an eye, Mike.
You know it. You know it. Start blowing up his phone.
look. It's in the daily task too, guys. It says maybe not every hour, but it does say in the daily task if you follow the process, call your customers back every 2 to 3 days. You know what I mean? And so there's a reason that we put that in there, because we want to be proactive. So even if you tell the customer, hey, it's going to take 7 days to get this done, you should still call them at 2 or 3 days to give them an update, so they don't call you and be proactive. So that's why that's on that daily task for these exact situations. So awesome. Anybody else want to come up and just maybe practice the situation, a scenario? This is why we do this. Again, highly recommend that. Like Michael said, I'm passionate about this process, 100%. I mean, it's our moneymaker, So we have to perfect. And Michael's been doing a fantastic job. I've listened to some of your calls. You have done a complete 180 of what you've done in the past. You know what I mean? So, and that's just because you're engaged now. I believe. You know what I mean? So it's always good to see that happening. You know what I mean? But anybody have any questions?
So Tim, going back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago about the device, you have the device.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud. I think the only time that really comes into play is when around phones. I mean, like laptops and desktops. I mean, most people, they know that if something's amiss, that's going to take it's not a turnaround, because most people, I get a lot of customers. I'm in the busiest, Washington D.C. metro area. People want their phones. I'm sure people in every other area is like, man, my phone's not working. I need my phone because I'm busy. It's work or something like that. They need their
Yep.
contact, and so they need to have that. So I got people coming 45 minutes, an hour sometimes, just
Yeah.
to get their phone fixed, which amazes me still that my reputation's starting to go that far out. And when you say, hey, do you got that phone? You say, absolutely, come on in, right? I think the key part would be, are you looking to get it fixed today? Right? Is that next question, right? Do you know where we're
Well,
located?
that's
You look,
also part
yeah,
of the tier system, tier one.
yeah,
That is
because if they're
always my
saying
first
that,
question.
because the response would be, if you ask me that question and I'm trying to yeah, absolutely, I need to get it fixed. I need to get it fixed in the next couple of hours. Then that kind of lets ding, 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 and then then the question would be, hey, I'm coming from an hour away. I need to know you have this phone, the screen, right? Because then it starts to lead you down tier 2, tier 3, right?
Correct.
Because I've been in instances where, yeah, absolutely, we'll take care of you. And the customer came in and it was like an oddball screen, an A something that but luckily I have mobile centric,
You're
15.
fortunate too.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily I have, but I can't do that all the time. Right. It's just, sometimes it's me and another tech and I can't just, get up and go. Right.
Uber.
Yeah. Well,
There's always a way around it. You got to be creative.
and so then that customer's kind of in a bind. Right.
Yeah.
But I know that the you break I fix Assurion down the street can't even help them out either. Right.
Yeah.
And so I try, we try to work. I think, but you'll catch, if you ask the right questions without going down the rabbit holes, you'll find those you'll filter those customers that really need to get their phone fixed today, because you'll kind of get that sense when they're talking to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the phone is the most important thing to all of us. Look, we're all on phones right now. None of us are on a computer for the most part, and these kind of things. So, yeah, you got to understand. And that's why Bruno down below said loaner phone. You know what I mean? Have a loaner phone. Is their image good? Is it still functioning? You know what I mean? Like these kind of things. But how often really is it happening where you don't have the part in stock? And if because a lot of these calls are common iPhone, Samsung that we can get fairly quickly. You know what I mean?
I just want
Yeah, there's going to
to
be some
I
times.
want to drive Bob's point home, because that is the first question that I ask anytime a customer asks me anything over the phone is, are you looking to get this done today? The customer calls in, hey, what's the price on an iPhone 11? Is that something you want to get done today? Or are you looking to get this done today? And that gives me a few different pieces of information. If the customer says yes, then, my price may go up a little bit because there's some urgency there, right? I potentially don't have the part in stock and I have to order it from my same day vendor. I have to think about expedition fees and things of that nature. I need to know whether or not I need to carve out some time, some extra time today to get this repair done, right? So that is always my first question over the phone. Hey, what's the price of this? Are you looking to get it done today? Right? And that's an easy way to sidestep that price conversation, maybe get them to stop thinking about the price over the phone. But in our tier system, the very second step is an open-ended question, and that is always my open-ended question. Are you looking to get this done today?
And I would even go and to add to that, if somebody is like in a and you could tell on the phone because they're like, kind of you can tell the tone of their voice and stuff like that, or just the kind of the questions they're asking. And then depending on how that conversation goes, like in those first few minutes, you can tell like, hey, well, we do offer, we can get it done, but there could be. I mean, it just depends, like how you're dealing
Yeah,
with.
every situation is
Yeah,
different, Bob, and every
yeah.
scenario is different, and that's why. But like Bob, Michael, I've listened to some of your guys' calls before, and you guys have been doing this for quite some time, so you can hop over those hurdles really easily. You know what I mean? The tier system is great to really simplify the processes. You know what I mean? And for the new guy that's on board, or the guy that's been on for 6 months that's on board, that don't really know all the hurdles yet because it takes time. But it's also important that you follow the tier because they're listening to you. You know what I mean? So we try to keep it as simple as possible. And I just shared the tier process link right here, and you'll see, just like we're talking about when you open it up. Question number, get them into the store. Let's focus on getting them to walk into the door, and immediately after that, uh, it says, "Are you looking to get this repaired today?" I mean, it says it right there. What time can he come in? You know what I mean? So it tells you exactly what Bob's talking about, and so it can lead you into the right direction. So, but yeah, I would have that tier system printed on the wall. I would have it. I'd have my team members maybe read it every single day they come into the store. I want you to read this. Everything on it's on here. You know what I mean? Like that's part of your daily routine. You know what I mean? That's it. And you get it drilled into the store, and you're gonna see some magic that's gonna happen after it, and you're gonna be printing money, right, Bob?
So yeah, well, I love printing money, uh, but hey, just I'm gonna put a thought that maybe we do next week. But I have one guy, and when he answers the phone, actually, um, once you call, I'm going to pretend to be him real quick. I just do it, and then that way you'll get a sense for what I want to talk to, because I know we're kind of going long right now. But I'm trying to get him, and this is the advice that I'm trying to figure out now. How do I build? It's more confidence and tone on that phone, because when you call, I'm trying to find this intestinal fortitude in his thing. So like, just quickly, just 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 call the store. So ding ding. Um, so this is you calling. You're calling, right? Ding ding. Hi, this is Bob. It's a good day at Experamax. Bob speaking. How can I help you? Yeah. It's just I'm trying to get his and so anyways, that's something I want to cover maybe next week. Is how do I get somebody that's so soft spoken, but they do a killer job when it comes to all the repairs and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to get them to get their inner voice to be more outer voice. I don't know. I guess so. Anyways, that's the
Hey,
topic
Bob,
for
you
next week.
hire a lot of young people, so that's just going to come with some time and some confidence in knowing that they know what they're talking about. I used to have pretty bad phone call anxiety when I first started in this industry, so I get it. But now, I rip into people over phone calls and you know let them know that I know what the hell I'm talking about, and it's just that little bit of confidence that what you're talking about. You have the answers for this customer, and just sit your people down and talk to them in that way. You know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. But that's what I kind of go back, and this goes back to this conversation, because if you have the tone and the confidence in your voice, then people don't ask you these questions. They're like, "Man, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm taking my phone there." Right? Like literally in one, two questions, bam, they get that sense, and they're like, "All right, cool. I'll see you. I'll be there in 15 minutes."
Yeah,
Right?
because you sounded high on the phone, and I'm not going there. Because a guy that's high, I'm not going to do repairs with, because who knows what else he's doing back there. See what I'm saying? Like how that really trickles down the effect. The reason I said this because this is exactly what happened. A good buddy of mine bought a phone, wanted to get a case, called the store and said, "Hey, your guy sounds high." So we lost the opportunity, and that's a buddy of mine. How often does that happen? I would have your guy listen to himself, and then I would say, I need you to record yourself and open up those lungs a little bit and put a little excitement in it. And then just be real with them. Like, would you go to a call? Would you show up to the? And I talked to Corey about this. Actually, Corey, I don't know if he's down there still, but he had a team member that was doing the same thing. He actually asked, and I go, it's our obligation to answer this phone better. Like, we have to. It's part of the job. If you can't answer the phone better, then the job ain't for you. And I'm sorry I'm being brutal, but this is the truth, because this is our moneymaker, right? And so maybe he's just a repair guy and he stays in the back until he can fix his ways. You know what I mean?
Well, I was brutally honest with them, Tim, the other day. I said, look, because I've had pretty much every job in the computer field you can have. And I said, look, if you can't, there's two parts of the job in computers. I don't care whether you're here or somewhere else. You're in the back or you're in the front. Right? And if you can master the back, that's great. Most people can learn the back, but the secret sauce is the front. And if you can't communicate to people, you can't communicate your ideas to people, your pay is going to be here. Right, you're going to hit the ceiling, and then that's where you're going to be. It says, but if you can communicate, your pay is going to go way up here. And I said, which one do you want to be in? He said, oh, I want to be in this one. I said, well, then you need to work on your communication.
That's
Right?
it. You got to work on yourself. And everybody says it. I'm sure everybody sees on TikTok and Instagram. If I had $2,000, the first thing I would do is I would go find a mentor or go take a master class, and I would put it on myself. And all these guys that have, Mark Cuban and all these guys have made millions and billions of dollars, still say it to this day. You got to work on yourself, guys. You got to get better at it and try to get better every single day. So, and that's the video that I shared to you guys on Techy News and Support page. Steph Curry takes his whole lifetime has taken over 2 million shots. 2 million shots, right? And in the game of basketball, he's only taken 15,000 shots in the real game. So look how much practice it's taken for him to be one of the best ever to play the game. And so it's the same thing here, guys. You have to practice. You can't just wake up and think it's going to happen. Like, you got to go out there and practice. And that's why I shared that video to you guys, because it puts it in perspective. And so for the team members and the franchise partners that are not up here today practicing,
That's what Fridays are for. Experience day, role play day. If nobody has anything for us, we did run a little long today, and we appreciate everybody that stuck around. You're the people that make this business, and you're the people that drive all the opportunities into your own stores. So thank you to everybody who showed up. Thank you to everybody who stuck around. We'll be back in front of you on Monday for some marketing tips. So we'll see you then. It's a great day at Techie. Have a good one, everybody.